So, the last time I covered a Sonic character, I took a shot at Infinite and the reasons why I felt he didn't particularly work as a Sonic villain. So the next step would be to analyze a character who I think does work, and is memorable. And for that, we're going to be covering... No, not that one. No. Yeah, that one. That's the one. Okay, so let's talk about this big drip.
Come on, you big drip. Where you going?
Or Sonic already took that one from me. Anyways, let's ignore that I even said that. This scene is directly taken after the moment we are first introduced to Chaos, a water monster who apparently at some point was a Chow and then suddenly mutated and evolved into the one that we see here today, right now on screen in front of you, right here. And since he's obviously a form of rapid evolution, he works perfectly as a concrete argument against creationism, introduced to us in the first 5 minutes of a Sonic the Hedgehog game. Perfect! But the first thing we'll see is Chaos being attacked by every police officer in Station Square. We have no idea what he did to lead to this police brutality, but apparently they wanted him dead, so... Oh yeah, this scene's gonna age well. But apparently this all leads to nothing and the bullets just fall out of him. It's either because he's that strong, or because not one of the police officers thought to aim for the brain. Then we play Sonic and we aim for the brain because you actually have a working one. But as far as establishing that Chaos is a legitimate threat, we're actually off to a good start. Turns out normal humans don't have an ability to fight him, either because of their own incompetence or because of his biology, and the only thing he's actually going to be weak to is a spiky blue pincushion. And, not sure how Eggman got on the rooftop there, but yeah, he does at least tell us that this is, in fact,
Chaos, the god of destruction!
Thank you.
Hey, yo, we talk about Sonic here? You know I have to be on every single Sonic-related thing ever created. Man, what are you wearing?
These? They're my robes. They make me look like Thrall. Actually, apparently make people actually care about what I say. Wait, who are you to talk about with your Ben 10 looking ass outfit?
It's just so exposing.
I guess that does explain all the weird fan art, but seriously, if an orc war chief can rock these, why can't I?
Look, I'm not here to kink shame. Wait, why am I here? What are we doing?
Well, I was about to analyze one of my favorite Sonic villains.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about Sonic. Well, you won't mind if I just jump on in and start rambling like a lunatic?
I mean, I guess I don't particularly mind.
Fantastic! Glad to have you on, bud. I'm Nick, and this is the Game Apologist.
Okay, hold up. Look down, below the video. What channel is that?
That's, Sir, hang on. Why are you talking about Sonic? What's this have to do with polyamory or atheism?
No, check again. That's Cirrus Gaming. I come on this channel whenever I want to escape the existential dread that is my main one. Besides, I tried talking about Sonic before on that channel. Turns out blue hedgehogs aren't hot topics on the skeptic side of YouTube. Go figure.
Oh, I was, still thinking about the Sonic franchise and polyamory. Actually, if you do a quick Google search, looks like the entire cast might actually practice.
Nope. No, we do not go on that side of the internet. Only darkness lies there. A darkness filled with Sonic and Shadow Yowie.
Speaking of, weren't we talking about that tentacle porn villain?
I mean, I guess I have seen enough hentai to know where this is going. And now that I've said it, I know that Google ads are going to show that to me from now on, so thanks for that.
I mean, how do they even get it on with all those spikes?
Probably the same way that my channel became that part of YouTube. Anyway, giant tentacle monsters. I just can't escape this fate, can I? All roads Sonic must apparently lead to porn. The fandom is broken.
Everything leads to porn. You're fine.
Okay, well, I was about to break down what works about Chaos's design. Instead, I just got myself closer to a mental breakdown. But anyway, between his lore and aesthetic and how it all ties together, I wanted to make a video talking about why he works as a villain. And of course, how he's not forced like another Sonic villain that we know. Anyway, would you maybe like to break down his design in the same way that you broke into my channel?
He's a puddle alien!
Yeah, great observation there, Nick. Anything else?
I mean, I guess. So, Chaos, the water god who resides in the Master Emerald. While he is made of water, he has a pretty iconic design. It's about as Sonic as water has ever looked. He has large appendages, some spikes out of the back of his head, and you can see his brain. That's pretty cool. But wouldn't be much point in making him water if you didn't play with that design a bit. As he obtains Chaos Emeralds, he goes through transformations. For the first 2 emeralds, we see a skeletal form take shape in his arms, adding bulk to the design. When Robotnik, Eggman, chucks another couple into the angry pond boy, he takes on a shark-like form, with massive fins and even more structure within his watery mass. By the time he obtains 6 emeralds, he is unrecognizable from his original state. He's just a large, messy glob with multiple legs holding up a cauldron of eyeballs and watery stingers. And when he gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, he becomes a gooey Biolante. His form has incorporated so much water that he has practically merged with an ocean, only, forming a reptilian kaiju face and some tentacles.
And this is where your public service announcement comes into play to let you know that Google Image Search is not, in fact, your friend. Who am I kidding? Your incognito tab is already open and there's nothing I can do to save you.
Google Image Search is my best friend.
I've had many a lonely night of adventure and regret on Google Image Search. In any case, thank you for covering his various designs. I'll take over for the story bit for now. So, like I said before Nick's design rant, at least the one that I managed to finally pull out of him, puddle aliens. The first time we are introduced to Chaos, we get to see how powerless the police force is against him. After this, the next time you'll see him is in his unofficial Chaos 1 form. We get it happens when you shove a Chaos Emerald deep inside him. Thanks to the efforts of everyone's favorite B-villain, Eggman.
Or Robotnik, to the civilized and ancient.
So now he's probably able to handle the entire Station Square police force a whole lot easier than before. I'm not going to go over the in-game order of events, since that's going to depend on your playstyle. Instead, let's stick to the chronological order of events, and the next time we officially meet with Chaos is as Knuckles. We get to see him absorb another Chaos Emerald, and boom! Giant imposing gooey water monster. As Knuckles, you're able to beat Chaos 2 pretty easily, but that makes sense, considering he's apparently able to punch the super out of Super Sonic. And that Hedgie boy had 7 emeralds in him.
I just can't escape that Sonic 3 intro.
I'm sure there's a religion of Knuckles enthusiasts who are going to be looking at you for dogma from here on out.
Do you? Oh no! Do it.
Anywho, the cinematography of this scene does show Chaos to be very imposing in his second form. This is, of course, helped by the fact that all of your characters are basically 3 feet tall animals. But hey, whatever works. It's one of the few instances of good cinematography in the first adventure game. The next time we get to deal with Chaos, we get to have the iconic battle with Chaos 4, the battle that leads to many of my issues with the characterization of one Tails Prower. This version of Chaos is harder to handle for everyone involved, since he does have the ability to incorporate himself into water and become invincible.
Which I always thought he could do anyway. Maybe it's just the amount of water he can command at once. Then again, his tail is detachable and he can't just take a bath and regrow it. Or maybe Chaos is just really fussy and can only absorb filtered spring water.
This just in, alien water puddle monster refuses to take Dasani into his form. Will only accept sacrifices in sparkling or Fiji water varieties. Anyway, whether you're playing as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, in each instance you are able to handle Chaos 4, but the game doesn't necessarily give us any indication of how easily the boss was handled in the narrative. One thing that we can all agree on, though, is that Tails fought Chaos 4, which is really important because of what I said in the Infinite video. Okay, sorry. Sonic Forces upsets me. I'm sorry. Why the hell was Tails scared of Chaos Zero?
You gotta let that go, man.
No, I can't! It is the same problem I have with Metroid Other M and Samus having a complete and total meltdown when she's seen Ridley hundreds of times, and then doesn't have the meltdown in any game after Other M either. My favorite game franchises keep falling to this horrible writing. Therapy hasn't helped. We're talking about a good game, right? Okay, yeah, right. Back on topic. Depending on which character you're playing before you fight with Chaos 6, you'll be introduced to the Echidna civilization in the past. This is where you get to see what Knuckles' ancestors were like, and you get to see that the civilization would have been like with the Master Emerald and Chaos Emeralds all in their, proper places.
You say proper, but at some point all of this was underground, but, well, let's just leave that alone before I invite comments of diverted timelines. Damn, now I can't let go of Sonic Forces.
You see? I'm not the only one that game made crazy. Anywho, continuity in the Sonic universe being a fickle mistress at best aside, it is also here where you get to officially meet Tikal for the first time and get a glimpse of her, rocky relationship with her father. We don't know what outside threats there are to the Echidna tribe, so we're led to believe that they are simply questing for more power for power's sake. We are also introduced to the Chow for the first time in narrative, even though by this time you probably already saw them in the game proper, which is good, because in the Chow Garden they're cute and cuddly, and in this game they're N64 polygon-fueled nightmare abominations. They're still cute enough to get the point across, but I'm still very confused why they couldn't use the same Chow models in both the garden and in the cutscenes.
Speak for yourself, I thought this stuff looked insane on the Dreamcast, but super jarring on the DX re-release.
Well, luckily all the footage I'm using right now is from the Better SADX mod, which gives us the updated models where it could, and then also gives us the original Dreamcast textures, giving us a possible best of both worlds. Still never up-res those Chow, though. But anyway, like I said, it does help that we had the Chow Garden in Station Square previous to this, so we can see the more cuter, cuddly version of the Chow, as opposed to the one the narrative wants us to see as cute and cuddly. So by this time, you've probably developed a loving relationship with at least a few of your Chow. At least you would, if you aren't a monster.
So maybe I played a little Chow football, so what?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
I think I'll name this one Kyle. Hey Kyle, time for Kick the Baby.
I will call PETA on... Wait, would PETA care about Chow? Wait, hold on, are Chow technically animals? I'm so confused. And wait, given that PETA is second only to the meat industry in the amount of animals that it kills wantonly, and if PETA actually cares about Chow... No, wait, Nick, we can't call PETA, they're gonna throw the Chow to the meat grinders! Anyways, the next thing that this story shows us, depending on what order you're playing, of course, is Sonic's viewing of the mural in the ancient temple from Knuckles' original civilization. This is, of course, a version of the temple that we saw from the past originally, though we don't actually get to go inside it in the past, which is kind of a shame. If we get a Sonic Adventure 1 remake, video incoming, I really hope we actually get to see inside the temple. Anyways, put a pin in that mural. The next actual Chaos battle we have to deal with is the climactic battle with Chaos 6 on the Egg Carrier. This version has its tail back, has 6 Chaos Emeralds, and we are powerless to fight it completely. This form is essentially invincible. We have no ability to fight him whatsoever, and all of his weak points are completely and totally guarded, and then Eggman in his infinite wisdom drops ice bombs everywhere because apparently he's stupid enough to think that dropping ice on us is a good idea when we are fighting a literal water monster. 300 IQ and years of battling anthropomorphic animals, and this is where his genius has landed him, giving us the access to the one thing that could possibly destroy his monster. This is the kind of thinking that gives us things like Sonic Forces!
Look, he's been doing this nonsense since the classics. This guy's his own worst enemy. He has an inferiority complex the size of a goddamn space station.
But I guess he can blame his grandfather for that because his grandfather's the one that put his freaking family face on the bottom of the station! Anywho, this sells us on the idea that Chaos is gaining in lots of power and is slowly becoming invincible since we need Eggman's tech to survive Chaos 6. But after seeing the mural in the ancient civilization, we now have confirmation of what kind of power Chaos actually will one day be able to wield with 7 emeralds. He won't just be an invincible beast who can fight us aboard a flying shuttle, he's gonna be a monster that can literally wipe out civilizations. We are led at this point to assume that this is what happened to the Echidnas.
The most tragic of pool parties.
Too soon? Anyway, at this point, we've been introduced to the idea that Chaos is a mindless monster who serves a master and progressively gets more powerful as he is fed Chaos Emeralds. We don't know anything about his personality yet, but we do know that he had a hand in wiping out an entire civilization in the past, so we know that he's definitely a threat in the future. This, of course, brings us to the last story. After playing as E102 Gamma, you do have the ability to find out exactly how Eggman interacts with his subordinates. He is, less than kind to them, to the point where he will exile or experiment on ones that fail him.
I would point out that Gamma is just a robot, but I have treated VMUs with more respect than Robotnik does with his own creations.
I don't know if I should be trusting the words of somebody who plays kickball with his Chow on this matter, on how to ethically treat digital creatures or robots, but, you know, whatever. We never get any information on what he did to or with Chaos when he wasn't on screen, but based on the way he treats Gamma's brothers and sisters, we can only assume the worst, justifying Chaos's rebellion against Eggman here.
Actually, was that ever really explained? Like, why was he working with Dr. Denver Omelette to begin with? Why did he bail? Guess Eggy did provide Sonic and Pals those ice bombs, so yeah, alright, fair point. Carry on.
I mean, I can only assume that he was working with Eggman because, again, beginning mindless monster with rage, and Eggman was actually able to direct that rage. But yeah, Eggman did provide us with ice bombs. I can imagine if Chaos is coherent enough, he probably said, no, you, yeah, probably you, yeah, screw you. Anyway, we do find Eggman and Knuckles knocked out on Angel Island after this point, and all the Chaos Emeralds are promptly stolen. Sonic and Co. now have to make their way back to the Station Square area to prepare for the worst. Remember the murals and the times that we got to travel back in the past? Well, Chaos is about to repeat a little bit of the past and wipe out a civilization.
I'll get the pool party right this time, guys, I swear. There will be little platter weenies and those noodle things. It's gonna be great.
Is it, though? The last one had lots of genocide. I don't know if we really want that one in the next pool party. So before we make the way to Station Square, we're going to go ahead and travel to the past once more to see exactly how the original pool party happened. It's here where we find that Chaos is the guardian of the Chao. Through both narrative and game mechanics, we've been led to empathize with and even love and care for these little guys, at least in the Chao Garden.
Like every Sonic Adventure player. See, guys? He's just like us.
Kickball enthusiast. That's my new name for you. I hope it sticks. So now we aren't seeing a mindless monster anymore. We aren't even seeing a conniving villain. We are seeing Chaos as a guardian protecting defenseless children. This is also where the mask comes off and we get to see the echidnas as bloodthirsty colonizers. And now we get to see things from Chaos's perspective. The echidnas are bloodthirsty warmongers, Chaos is simply trying to defend his family and home, and the echidnas aren't having any of that. They're willing to trample over all the children Chao, and even trample over the daughter of the echidna tribe Tikal in order to get to their power stones.
And now Mama Bear is pissed.
Chaos comes to the defense of his family and friends, and the rest is quite literally history. It's literally put on murals in a civilization that didn't have the ability to put anything on those murals after their civilization was destroyed. Wait, hold on. Sonic narrative. Why? Hold up. Who put the murals up if the civilization was already wiped out? Who put the murals showing Chaos destroying the civilization up when the civilization that would have put those murals in the temple is gone? I'm very confused now. Anyway, that little plot hole aside, the voice acting and still character poses and everything may be a primitive way for Sonic Adventure to show its story, but it does do an excellent job with what it had at the time, and this is a great narrative heel turn. Chaos has been nothing more than a villain, or at the very least a weapon against us throughout the entire story, and now we're getting little bits of his personality to shine through, even though he hasn't actually spoken a single word. Beforehand, Chaos utilized emeralds with no emotion. They were just incorporated into his being. The version of Chaos you're seeing on screen now, though, is a little bit different. He's incorporated the Chaos Emerald's negative energy into his form. Instead of skeletal appendages, we just have one giant water monster ready to blow the shit out of everything. This way we can tell that Chaos not only feels emotions, but we know exactly what emotions it is feeling. And we also know that simply trapping him in the Chaos Emerald again won't do us any good. He's just gonna have all those negative emotions still, and if we lock him up, well, he's just going to basically be in isolation with those. They're not going to go anywhere, and Sonic realizes this. Eggman realizes this too, but in a different way. He decides that destroying Chaos is what he wants to do, but apparently the guy with 300 IQ decided not to bring ice weaponry to the water fight. So of course, he gets lasered and down he goes. At this point, it's time for a therapy session with Chaos, courtesy of your shiny golden noggin.
You'd think that Chaos would be the one providing the enemas, not Sparkle Hogs.
Do not Google image search Sparkle Hog enema. Anyway, after we do this whole boss fight, we get to see that Chaos has actually been calmed down. Apparently, literally slapping some sense into him slaps some sense into him. And now he's depowered, emeraldless, and he is much more calm. This Chaos gets to turn around and see that there are happy Chaos, and Tikal lets him know that Chao have created a new life with humans and are now being raised by them in a nice symbiotic relationship. Everything's honky-dory, nobody has to be angry with each other anymore, and we get to conclude with our Steven Universe ending. And like Steven Universe, the ending completely ignores all the destruction that happened up to this point.
I got nothing here. Haven't seen too much of the show, just a lot of singing and crying. Feelings aren't really my jam.
I can tell, kickball enthusiast. Anywho, I still like the show, and moving on, this is the wonders of anthropomorphic animal therapy. I think the best part of the entire story, where Chaos is concerned, is that we are introduced to Chaos and we learn about him as a mindless automaton, and then, retroactively, we get a heel turn that shows us everything that he actually felt beforehand, before he was actually under the control of Eggman. Once Chaos is in the control of his own body, his negative emotions became his only master, and the destruction got much, much worse. The game very effectively paints Eggman as incredibly evil, but the lesser of two evils. Not that he is more evil than Chaos, but that his capacity for destruction is much, much less severe. And it did it all without giving Chaos any spoken dialogue. This is show don't tell at its finest. One of the most important rules about visual storytelling is to show the audience the situation instead of explaining it to them. And strangely enough, Sonic Adventure does a wonderful job at this. There's very few scenes that attempt to explain Chaos's emotional state to us. We can infer his emotional state based on context clues. This is one of the reasons I think Chaos works as a narrative villain. From a narrative perspective, someone like Infinite doesn't really work because all he can do is give us mindless platitudes about how edgy he's gonna be. Chaos actually does the work and makes us feel for him as an individual without even speaking. Eggman also works as a villain, through finding out that he was just holding Chaos's leash the entire time and manifesting his negative emotions towards his own ends. It makes Eggman look like a very despicable villain. We have real reasons to like him, from his threatening of Tails to torturing his own robots and exiling his creations. This means that even Eggman gets characterized really well, and in characterizing him as sufficiently evil, all of our negative emotions get projected onto Eggman in the end and not Chaos, even though Chaos is responsible for most of the destruction. This is all done in an old video game with shitty voice acting like this.
Oh yeah! This is happening!
That said, Nick, now I'm the one who's been rambling. Are there any moments in the story that stuck out to you?
The Alpha and Omega.
The beginning and end of the game, anyway. Sonic Adventure wasted no time telling you who the big bad was going to be this time around, establishing that conventional weapons had no effect on the thing, and giving Sonic no reaction to any of his sass. We really only see Chaos when we're fighting the Goo Boy, and the battles are never repetitive, at least if you're playing a single character, providing a brand new challenge with each new encounter. And by the time we come across Perfect Chaos, we understand his history, his motivation, and when he's finally given a proper mouth, all he can use it for is a primal scream. The only means to convey his pain is through destruction, violence, and, well, chaos. He isn't present in every single second of the game. We don't see him plot or scheme. Everyone else has to speak for him. But when he is on screen, all eyes are on Chaos, from the start all the way to the climatic finish.
And I think in that we agree. While he may not be the most standout villain we'll see in the Sonic franchise, he is the first one we got in a 3D outing, and he left a gigantic impression. Now hopefully, Sega doesn't do anything to erode his legacy, like, I don't know, maybe have him play second fiddle to an edgy jackass antagonist with little backstory, no motivation, drive, or character, without so much as giving us a boss fight. That would be just disrespectful. Anywho, thank you guys for the view, and thank you, Nick, for hopping on my channel, even though it was kind of an invasion.
Wait, hang on, this isn't a game apologist episode. What am I doing here? Where are you? What? I'm bored, I'm gonna go invade some other YouTube channels. Subscribe or whatever.
Where's the exit?
And like a true Sonic warrior, he runs. Toot, toot, Game Apologist. Toot, toot. Anyway, if you haven't checked out Nick over on his channel, The Game Apologist, I would highly suggest doing so, not just for the Sonic content, though let's be honest, that's what most of his fans are there for anyways. And if you happen to enjoy this episode, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, maybe even share it with your friends, that would be cool. And with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this assessment of Chaos. And if you did, grab a controller, turn the lights down low, and I hope you can have a blast.